In this video, I'm going to share with you how I run my business, which is now in thousands of retailers all around the world. If you're a product-based business that's wondering, am I overspending? Am I underinvesting? Any other question like that, and you're thinking, how can I run my business better? Well, I just wanted to make this video for you guys to kind of share with you a little bit of how we do it. Plus, I'm also going to walk you through a little bit about what we do at Candid Founders, because it's a question I get all the time with our Candid Founders-based business. These are a couple questions that I get all the time. So what do you do with Bearkind now? Bearkind mustn't be growing. How do you spend so much time on Candid Founders? Don't you have Bearkind to run? I hear versions of this question all the time, and I just wanted to share exactly how we run Candid Founders for growth whilst also running our agency Candid Founders. And that's because I actually have learned so much working with a whole bunch of businesses on Candid Founders that have applied to Bearkind and vice versa. And I just wanted to run you guys through that at the highest level that I possibly could. To start with, the number one thing that I've heard from business owners all around the world is be an owner, don't be a CEO. What changed kind of in my mind around that was I was sick of working all the time, building a business that wasn't really growing, and I thought, how can I really improve my business, Bearkind, spend less time on it, make it grow faster? And this was the thing that kind of stuck for me. Be an owner, not the CEO. But what does that mean? So picture this, you actually own a stock. Are you working in that business? No. Would you rather own the business, get all the benefits, and not work on the business? Absolutely. I think that's what I hear from most business owners, especially those that are saying, well, eventually I'd want to sell my business. The reason why I came to this was, most CEOs, and myself included, really work themselves ragged, and I don't really want to do that anymore. And so a couple of years ago, I made a couple of changes to the business, and these are the changes that I've made. So to kind of list them out, it was hire a great team, don't be afraid to fire, set them up for success, work on needle moving things only. At Bearkind, we have an amazing team. Internally, there is an owner, general manager, designer, and operations associate. External to the business, and a couple of reasons why we do this is we have a third-party logistics provider and we have a manufacturing partner. So why does this particular structure work really well? Well, in the core internal team, we have someone to sell the business externally, which is myself as the owner. Maybe you could kind of classify that as the CEO. Someone to run the business internally, which is our general manager. Someone to make it absolutely beautiful, which is our designer. And then someone to execute the ongoing operations of the business, which is our operations associate. The number one aspect that I had here is you have to keep sales separate from delivery. So why do you have to keep sales separate from delivery? Well, the number one thing that I see all the time, especially from entrepreneurs that are running their own business, is something to the effect of this type of conversation. Point one, I'll go to them and be like, hey, I think the next place that you can make $1 million is X. In particular, that might be expansion into the USA or expansion internationally, addition of other platforms and channels, and they're kind of the main three. And in response to that, all the time, so bear in mind, this is someone who I've worked on hundreds and hundreds of brands now. I'm telling you that the number one way that you can make millions of dollars is through those three areas: USA expansion, international expansion, or channel expansion. And I would probably say 99% of the time, business owners in particular come back to me with a litany of operations-based questions. Oh, that seems hard. Oh, that seems like a lot of work. Oh, I'm not sure if I can do that, etc., etc. But the most important thing is actually getting the sales first. But these business owners are so in the weeds, and that they are actually the people that would have to put their hand on the hot plate to kind of, and really get burnt by making one of these changes or making one of these sales improvements. And you really just want to make sure that that person who is in sales doesn't have to be the person that's delivering sales. So when I turn around to my team and I say, hey guys, we're going into the United States this year on our UK-based Bearkind business, or we're expanding into, the rest of the world with our USA-based Candid Founders, I'm not the person who will feel the pain of making that expansion, okay? I'm just directing the team to do it, and they're going to feel the pain. And this is really important because the team is now really knowing that their marching orders are kind of set. So you have the ability to be like, hey guys, look, I understand that this is going to be painful. I'm not the person doing it. You're going to be the person doing it. It is something that I obviously could do, but I can then continue to take a step back and push the team. And I see this all the time, for example, on Candid Founders, where business owners know that they need to improve what they're doing on Faire, but for whatever reason, haven't. And then we step in and we say, look, guys, I want to make all of these litany of changes. It's not going to cost you anything. You're not going to feel any of the pain. All I know is that you're going to get more sales, and then you can remove all of those questions around, oh, is it going to be painful? Is it going to be hard? So yes, separate sales from delivery. And this is the best way to make that change, especially kind of around that kind of team size. This team size can really get you anywhere from $500,000 to $5 million. I've seen it scale up to $10 million before you start adding a couple more people, and that's typically around operations, for example. The next point is, why outsource my shipping? I do such a great job at it. Oh, I'm the best at customer service. Oh, our reviews are fantastic because I do everything myself. And that's okay, but you are now the world's most expensive shipper and customer service person, because the operational costs and the opportunity costs that you are putting in the business by not growing the business means that it's going to be incredibly expensive. So, every single minute that you are there picking, packing, storing and moving an object of your product around and kind of dropping it off at the post office is a minute that you're not spending on marketing or selling more of your product. So shipping, I think as well, is incredibly easy to understand. It takes forever to master. So really hire the masters. It'll be cheaper, quicker, with less errors. In the US, there is a whole bunch of third-party logistics providers. In the UK, we use Sprint Logistics. They're fantastic for UK, Europe, and wider. And then we're looking at using a couple of logistics providers in the US, and I'll get back to you guys once I know who we go with there. But I think the best way to describe it is the more time that you can spend, or someone can spend on third-party logistics, the better they're going to be at it. And it doesn't need to be you, unless you want to create a warehouse. But again, I wouldn't recommend that if you're watching this video. Point 2, don't be afraid to fire. Now, I want to start this point 2, don't be afraid to fire, with a bit of a story. So if you feel like you're walking through mud with someone and you can't quite put a finger on what it is, you are working with the wrong person. And, I'm not saying that they're bad at their job, although they probably are. I'm just saying that they're not the right person for you. And that is an incredibly important distinction to make. Now, don't get me wrong. This is the hardest thing that we have to do as business owners. And really, to be honest, I still struggle with it. But you really need to make sure that you've got the right person pointing in the right direction for you. And that person, if they're not in the right direction for you, then that's okay. They can go point in another direction for someone else. But once you feel like this, you need to find a replacement, move the person on, and get going. To a T, every single time we have done this, we have felt 1,000,000 times better in the business. The business has improved and we have gotten faster as a team. Now, the team knows when they're being slowed down. They won't thank you explicitly, they never will, but they will implicitly, and that'll be by delivering more work every single time that you kind of turn to the team and say, look, this person wasn't working out with us. That's fine. They've gone to find another place for them to work, and now's your opportunity to continue to smash it at work. Point 3 is setting them up for success. What I want to do in this point, guys, is walk you through a couple of the tools that we use. So if you run a product business without these tools, my particular view is that you're pretty much stuffed, because it's going to be incredibly hard for you to run a business efficiently. You can probably do it by the seat of your pants up to a couple hundred grand, maybe even more, up to $1 million, but you're not really going to be able to scale because you are probably, for example, going to oversell. You're not going to, you're basically selling too much of what you don't have. You're going to be underselling because you don't have enough stock of your best sellers, and so many other different issues around that about, cash conversion cycles, for example, as well. So I'm going to walk you through this. And these are the 5 that I am going to talk to you about today: stock forecasting, stock breakdowns, pre-sales process, marketing calendars, and budget approvals. So what do these each look like? So step 1, what we do is stock forecasting. We do this using line cards to work out how much is the right amount of stock to purchase. So the number one thing that kills product-based businesses is having too much cash in stock. And it's not enough really to guess that when you need the stock and how much you need the stock. You should be doing a view of exactly knowing how much stock are you going to get, when is it going to arrive, and do you have enough of your best sellers? So the way that we do this is through line cards. The other way that you can do it is you can use an app called Predico, P-R-E-D-I-K-O. Fantastic business for Shopify platforms, in particular for businesses on platforms like Shopify, and it's just going to pull in all your data and then give you all of this information automatically. So let me walk you through how we do it on our side, just using the manual line cards. Step 1, what you're going to do is you're going to build out your SKUs or your designs, and you're going to show your stock levels, your sales, your month coverage, how much is coming, and how much do you need to place. You're going to do that for every single one of your products over time. Then what you're going to do is you're going to be able to get out exactly how much stock is coming at any one given point. So for example, here we have our total stocks coming. In this particular example, we've got 50,000 coming in July. That maybe some of that will come in August as well. We've also got another 50,000 we need to place that order. We need to place for it to come in August. So that's kind of 60,000 there. What that's then going to spit out is what are your stock levels over time. We then split that out by the different sales levels. So our level 1 A's, B's, level 2s, level 3s, and then we've got seasonal, packaging, new designs, point of sale, etc. And what ideally you should be seeing is a nice split between your 1As, or obviously you want to be a bit more overstocked there, and making sure that you're ordering enough of your 1As so that you've got enough for you to kind of focus on where you're selling your products. What you also want to then do is make sure you're working out over time, are you decreasing the stock levels that you have of your level 2s and your level 3s and replacing them with new products. So TBC for us, so as you can see here, we've got our level 2s, level 3s, they're attracting down over time. And that's kind of over the course of this next 12 months. And we're then replacing them with kind of new stocks in as well. What you also want to then do is work out, okay, what SKUs have 0 stock in them at the moment. So as you can see here, our level 1As, which is this light green button, you can just see that we're not got a lot of them in stock. We don't have a lot of them out of stock or with 0 stock in them. And that's great. We used to have a bit of a problem with that where we had kind of 10, for example, at the end of 2025, but now we're at a position where we've got really none of our level 1As out of stock. And that's an incredible position for us to be. It means we can sell more and more. Same thing with our new and off sale. Basically, what are our bad products here, our level 2s and level 3s, and how are we increasing them over time to have 0 stock in them? And that means we're just not making sure that we're not ordering any of them, we're not placing any new orders for those, and that's what we do with our line cards. Once you get this, you can then create your orders with your factories and your manufacturing capacity if you are doing it in-house. But it's an incredibly simple thing to do once you've done it once and set up. But make sure you set it up and forget it and get your team to do this that we talked about in the earlier points, because you need to be having that as an owner, that one step back. And what I recommend all business owners is make sure you do not abdicate. You need to still retain responsibility, but you're delegating, not abdicating. And your responsibility is to be able to come in and be like, hey, that number doesn't look exactly right. Actually, I don't want to be ordering 50,000. I only want to order 75,000 or double that, or whatever that number needs to be. Actually, that particular product, we need to get rid of it. The numbers are probably wrong, just what you know as a business owner. And so that level of granularity is going to really improve your business as well. So that's what we do on line cards. The next point is stock breakdown. So the number one kind of point I ask, quite a lot of product-based businesses is, do you have enough of that particular product, or do you have too much of that product? And if you do not have a really great answer for that, then you probably haven't implemented different stock rules for your products. And that main thing here is that we want your product-based business to be kind of on autopilot, in particular for your stock breakdown. So when you expect, especially your general manager is speaking to the rest of the team, they should have a very clear idea of, okay, what do I need to do with my A+ sellers, A sellers, B sellers, and C sellers? And this is what we do. On our A+ sellers, we aim to always be overstocked. And that's just because if we get the ability to market and we know that we have product market fit on that product, we put heaps of dollars behind it, I don't want to sell out. I would much rather have a lot more stock in my A+ than in, say, bringing in new products. Then our A sellers, we aim to be slightly overstocked. B sellers, we sell out, and then maybe we bring them back in high season, depending on how much kind of newness we're bringing into the business. And then C sellers, these are the products that once we've sold out, we're not going to bring them back in. So the number one question I then get is, well, how much to overstock? And that's a really easy answer. It's enough to make you wince. And what do I mean that? Well, it's kind of that question, and I've put it down here of, oh, we sold out last time, but maybe if we were plus 30%, oh, that's a bit too much, or maybe that's, it's kind of just like I'm not so sure. But for your level 1As, you need to make sure that you've got enough stock in. And I'm not saying that it's one where it's like a flat no, absolutely not. I'm just saying it's a wince. It's like, oh, is it maybe? And the reason why I like to do that is because it gives you an opportunity to kind of sell into your best sellers and continue to push them and not be let down by them in your high season. The next point is I still approve every single one of our stock purchases. And that's because you're going to know as the business owner, having years and years of experience on a particular product, how it's going to sell at any one time. And like what we said before, cash costs are the number one things that kill businesses. So if you've got too much stock in product, or you've not got enough in product, that's what's going to be the end of your business. So let me just kind of show you briefly what we do on a stock breakdown perspective. This is all of our sales by product and all of our stock by product. I'm just going to get my editor to blur out a couple of these numbers just so that you guys don't see exactly what we're doing across all of these different products. I wouldn't want my competitors to kind of know what they are. Hopefully that's okay, because there's some people just like absolutely copy our business. It drives me mad, but anyway. What this then does is it gives you a really clear idea of, okay, actually what do I believe in these particular sales of these products? What are the ranks of them over time? And then I just kind of pull that back from all of these numbers here and I look at it on an ongoing basis. What we then do is we then break that down into sales velocity and stock levels, and then we have a really clear view to tell our team of exactly what they should be selling and pushing. So our operations associate, our designers know what stock that they should be focusing in emails. And I really don't see this often enough. The founder or the business owner knows exactly what they want to sell, but they don't then communicate that incredibly clearly in a place where the team knows exactly what to do on an ongoing basis. And so that's what we do here. We kind of break it down into our high pushed, balance pushed, don't push, and our off sale products. Off sale just means remove them, so do not market them at all. Don't push is trying to avoid them from marketing, move them down and merchandise them. High push is put them high up on the page, make sure that on your website, they're the number one thing that you're pushing, make sure they're the number one thing that you're pushing on your emails as well, for example. And I hope that works. It will really improve your business because then the team is going to be humming and then knowing what they're going to sell. You're no longer going to look at a product and be like, oh, I'm not sure if we should sell that, to be honest. But as a business owner, you should obviously be approving, but this gives you the chance to let the team ask for forgiveness rather than for permission. And they can say, oh, well, actually I pushed it because you told me to push it through this sheet. So that's what we do with our stock breakdown sheet. The next point is our pre-sales process. So on Bearkind, all of our stock hits our warehouse for free. And the number one question I get is, well, how do you do this? And the way that we do it is through pre-selling all of our products. So every time we launch a product, what do we do? So I only create I only create a purchase order if I have an anchor customer who would be willing to purchase it. That is someone who is going to put their money where their mouth is. They're going to get a great deal, don't get me wrong, on that product. But I then want to make sure that they're kind of committed to buying a decent amount of them within the first year. The second part is pre-saling them on Faire. So the moment we have a computer-aided design of it from a trusted manufacturer, I then will go, actually, okay, I'm fine to sell it. So for example, our Christmas socks, we started selling them in Christmas last year, the end of Christmas last year, for Christmas next year. And that's because I just want to get those retailers who are considering Christmas to then be like, okay, actually, I know that product is going to be there for next Christmas. I'm then going to go to Bearkind. We also offer our discounts to our distributors for them to go guesswork. So when our manufacturers finish with the product, we then ship them directly from our manufacturers to our distributors. We give them a great price. They're then able to get the stock before everyone. They don't have to worry about the stock hitting our warehouse. We don't have to pay customs. We give them a stonking discount and we move more product. So all of our stock hits our warehouse for free from a cash perspective. So let's say that we sell 1,000 socks, then the remaining 1,000 socks that we've got on order are going to hit the warehouse and they're just going to sit there and they're not going to take any of our cash. Maybe it's a month of cash that I need to find a way to finance, but that's not the end of the world. This is an absolute game changer for stock-based businesses. So I would encourage everyone to get on it. The next section is our marketing calendar. So we run on autopilot throughout the year. Each month has a core theme. We call content ideas and we just rinse and repeat that. But basically from start of September, we run our content calendar and I want to show you guys what this looks like. So this is what our content calendar looks like at the moment. On the left-hand side, we have kind of the key areas that we want to focus on from a marketing perspective. So for example, on Bearkind, Mother's Day, start of spring, World Wildlife Day, broken down by days, dates. What are the themes that we've got from Faire perspective in our banner? Has it been updated? Then what is the wording that we're working on through the website on the main cover page? Do we then have that wording done through our Klaviyo and our marketing? And then are there any product updates that we've got, for example? So we're launching the Kiwi sock, our orchard sock in the coming months, which I'm really excited about. So obviously we're going to be talking about that from an ongoing basis across our website as we go. This just gives your team the opportunity to come together and say, okay, this is what we're selling. This is what everyone in the team needs to know about. And this is what you guys need to do, and are we tracking towards that? And so this content plan is an absolute game changer. As you can see, it's gone through a bunch of different iterations on the bottom there, but this is the best way to do it I've seen by far. The last section on setting them up for success is around budgeting for approvals. I love this saying. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is king and queen. So we monitor it like a hawk and we are absolutely brutal with it. Every single year, what I recommend is cancel every single one of your cards. If someone doesn't scream for the cost to come back on, it wasn't important enough in the first place, and subscriptions are just the worst way. For every net cost that you add to the business, you have to be making 10 times, 20 times that sales for that net cost to then be, making sure that it's actually valuable for you, because that net cost then needs to go through your gross. You need to obviously get your stock, your shipping, your marketing. So let's say it's a $10 net cost for a subscription to a particular tool. Maybe that's an extra $100 of sales every month. Is that actually making sense? So cancel all of your cards. And then basically, obviously put it back on for your main ones, but this is such an absolute hack. The next thing is every single one of your cash payments from your account should be approved by you, even if that's just a cursory glance. So we have a Slack channel where the team sends in any payments that need to be made. I review them and make sure they get paid on time, but also make sure that we're not paying over the odds for something in particular. And that's because the team's gonna be busy. They are in execution mode. So similar to where you want to be separating sales from operations, you wanna be separating people spending cash on your business from the people that are actually making those kind of purchase decisions, because you need to be the number one person who's paying bills, for example, and that's just going to reduce any risk there, because you can turn around to them and say, hey guys, look, just don't do it. We don't need that cost. Let's find a different, cheaper way. And 9 times out of 10, the team will surprise you and come back to you with a better option. Lastly, I only work on needle moving actions. So I focus on international distributors, large sales groups. When can I double our marketing budget, for example, and any new channels? Then I get the team to execute these on an ongoing basis. Obviously, there's some things that I would like to do myself, but I don't have the time. So I get the team to kind of execute it. And this is what's made our business double year on year for a number of years at this point. So here are the meetings that I use to manage my team on an ongoing basis, so that they're focusing on the deliverables that I need them to focus on and that I'm working on as well. So daily, I will respond to Slack emails and I will Notion response. Weekly, I'll spend an hour with my general manager. Monthly, I'll meet with my designers and operations to have kind of skip level meetings. Then with my general manager, I'll meet with them on stock breakdown and on line cards. And then on the marketing plan, I want to review that on an ongoing basis. In particular, when we get into our peak periods, we'll meet more frequently than this on our marketing plan. But outside of that, I just want to know that everything's kind of ticking along, and that team knows that I am conscious and aware of what's happening in the business. So what do I do with the rest of my time? Well, we have Candid Founders. Candid Founders is the best marketing agency in the world for Faire. We are the number one. We do the best job in the entire world. And basically we're taking what we've done on our business Bearkind and then applying it to a whole bunch of other businesses that work with us. Every single business is mostly focused on the USA. They are across a wide variety of products. Some of them are, there we go. Some of them are behind me in that kind of back of the shot. We have the biggest businesses on Faire working with us. And if you need support on growing on Faire, well then you know where to come. We do all of this for you. We make sure you grow your business on a repeatable, easy to do basis. We are the best in the world at it, like I said. So if you're interested in having a chat with us, get in contact. I'd love to have a chat with you, see how we can improve your business on a Faire perspective and see how we can grow it for you. If that sounds great, well then you know where to get in contact. Of course, guys, like, subscribe, and follow for more. And of course, if I can ask actually a query, guys, anything here resonate with you, whack it in as a comment below. I'd love to have a chat with you down below. Thanks, guys.